Everyone, and welcome to our first edition of our tea time with Tricia and Jeff. Cheers.
Cheers.
So we often talk a lot about holistic health, but we thought, why not just share with you what we're doing on a weekly basis, and maybe you'd be interested in some of the things that we are doing holistically to improve our health. So we're just gonna, just kind of chit chat, and then you guys can just follow along. So, so part of our holistic health is we take courses all the time. So Jeff, what courses are you taking? Are you taking any courses right now, or you're?
Yeah, never ends. The one I'm most currently viewing is called Chaos to Coherence, and that's with Dr. Greg Braden and Dr. Bruce Lipton, and they're just basically talking about how things are chaotic with mindset, basically, and taking care of yourself holistically, that things all work out in the end, I guess is kind of what you're saying. And that the big message there is that we're all capable of being healthy, and we're all capable, or they're all encouraging everybody to view humans as humanity, as a cohesive, coherent. So that's why they use the word coherent essence, if you want to look at it, or species even, right? That we're all, regardless of culture and skin color and background and whatnot, we're all human beings. So we're all meant to support and love one another, right? That's a big part of the course too, is just self-love and love for everyone else. So yeah, it's a good one. It's deep, but it's good. It's very good.
Of course, that anybody can take, or do you think it's more for like a practitioner, or do you think anybody can get
it has value for it? I would say it has a high value for everyone. Absolutely, yeah, for sure.
You know, you sent it to me. I haven't done it yet, because I'm working on my own course.
Yeah, I know. And it's not like it's easy, right? Like it's long. Like it's 2, 4, 6, 8, almost 10 hours of content, right? But I typically like to put playback settings at a higher playback speed. So instead of watching at normal tempo, I sometimes try to put it at a higher tempo. But this course didn't allow you to do that, which I'm really glad they didn't, because like I said, it's pretty deep stuff. So to have it play a little slower and kind of contemplate as you're getting the information is good. But it's broken into 5 parts. They're all basically 2-hour chunks, and we got access for a whole year to the course. So I'll probably redo it many times over the course of the year as needed. Yeah.
And what's it called again?
Chaos.
To
Coherence.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be something good to dig into for sure.
You got a course here? Nutrition wise, I'm sure it's based around nutrition.
Actually, it's not based around nutrition. So I recently started selling Zaya clothing, and so I took the 101 course, and now I am taking the 201 course, because I am hosting an event, a sales event for a customer, and I need to know how to do that. So I am taking that course to learn how to do that. Not to say that I'm not always learning, and that is kind of jumps into our next category, is what are we reading right now. So I was over in Tyndonega, and I picked up this book called American Indian Healing Arts. So a lot of things that we find in nature, and how they were used for healing properties. So I'm on, it goes in order of baby, childhood, teenager, adulthood. So I'm in the child section right now, but amazing. And I think that sometimes we forget the power of people. I guess this relates to the course that you're taking too, but a lot of the healing wasn't just around nutrition, or just wasn't around herbs and things that they found in nature, but also around the community, and the community coming together to help heal and send prayers. And we can't ignore the power of that in terms of our health either. So being in a community that is like-minded, and that can pray for you. I know in our church list we have a prayer list, and a group of people that will pray for others. So. Mhm.
Speaking of that, in that course too, mine, they talked about, holistically doing all the right things, like getting movement and meditation, possibly, and breathing and supplementing and eating organic foods whenever possible, all those good things. But similar in that basically your mindset can override or has a huge percentage of that, right? Like if you're doing next to nothing for health wise, maybe your level of opportunity for health is here. But if you're eating organic foods and exercising and doing all those things well, then it increases. But when it comes to the mind, the power of the mind or the power of community where people are together and doing this together, like in a family dynamic, that then there's a huge jump in the results of what the capabilities are. So similar to that, like you could, if you pray for someone or as an individual, right? And this goes in kind of in ties with energy medicine too. Like if you just do energy medicine techniques on yourself, they have good value. But if I do energy medicine techniques on Tricia and we're both having an intention of healing or working on whatever that is, it's more than double, right? Like it's not just because there's two people, it's doubled or three. So when you get into community, like they're talking about in that book, that makes a lot of sense to me because then you get like a whole tribe, a community of people focused on one individual that's ill, and then you've got 10 people on it. Like the energy and the magnitude of what goes into that is massive compared to just like me praying for Tricia, for you, for something cool to happen or whatever to happen.
Yeah.
But it's like I said, the tribe that makes it so much bigger, so much more exciting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then everybody's involved. That's good too.
Yeah, everybody's involved in the process and kind of nurturing and taking care of each other. Yeah, so I'm excited to dig more into that. What are you reading today?
Oh, this is my book. Well, today this one is gonna take a long time to read. This is called Love Letters from Mother Earth.
Oh, wow.
So it's subtitled "The Promise of a New Beginning," and essentially what this book then is the author has gone basically into a meditative state where she feels she's connected with the essence of Mother Earth. And Mother Earth has given her the guidance to write 13 different letters. So I'm only one letter in. But all of this is interesting. I didn't know what book you were going to pick or that you were going to be talking about. But again, the crossover is amazing. Brains in sync, coherent, right? But the book the first letter is basically saying that again, it's community. It's that all of humanity is as a community has the capability of doing anything. And then the letter does reference in basically healing yourselves or communities or yourselves. That Mother Earth knows that we have this ability as humanity, as a community of humans. When we come together, work together, and love one another. Again, that word love comes up in here. Self-love and group love or community love. Then miracles are there. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I guess she's in that first letter. She's just saying that Mother Earth is claiming that that's a promise that was made to humanity from the beginning. That you will have the ability and capabilities to heal yourselves when you work together and love one another. So there's a lot of similarity. Yeah.
So tea time with Tricia and Jeff. Mm-hmm. We should share the tea that we're having today.
Yeah. I think we both. Well, I know we did. We both picked the same tea today. So
this tea is called immunity tea. No. Yes. Yeah. Immunity tea. Made by 4 o'clock. It's organic because that's what we tend to get all the time. Less toxins. So this one has reishi mushroom and also moringa in it. So yeah, good for supporting your immune system. I just wanted to see what else is in here. Chicory root and I thought there was some chocolate in here.
No, it has a very chocolatey flavor to it.
That's from the chicory root.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe that's why you're both like it so much. It tastes pretty chocolatey. Mm-hmm. It's not exactly chocolate flavored, but it's very close. Yeah. And so it's very nice if you're a chocolate fan.
So this one we did buy locally. Mm-hmm. But they're out.
I normally find that at our local Metro, but lately for the last 2 weeks now, I have not seen it in stock. So hopefully it ends up back on the shelf there at Metro. And if you see it, buy them all. Leave one there
Save
on the
one
shelf for
there.
us.
Please.
If you see it, if you want to try it.
We drink it quite a bit, quite often. So
Yeah, that's our last
box.
box of it. That's all right. There's lots of other good teas as well.
So well, the other thing we wanted to chat about was what's going on in the kitchen. So what we've been kind of cooking this week, or
You've been cooking a lot.
Cooking.
I've done a little bit, but not.
Well, Jeff is good because he eats the leftovers. So
Well,
that's
I can cook, and I do cook.
yes. Oh no, you do.
I wing it most often. Anyway, go ahead.
So I had a friend over and she had some sourdough flatbread. It was delicious. And I was like, hey, I got into sourdough last year and then I stopped doing it and I'm going to do it again. So I made a sourdough starter with rye flour, 100% organic rye flour. And then that's what 7 days. And then I've started to make bread, which has been delicious. I made one loaf that was 100% rye, but the rest I've just used an organic white flour. But because you're using the sour, it's kind of like half rye flour, half white flour. It is fermented, so in the fermentation process, it does break down the gluten a little bit, and it eats some of that starch. So in terms of comparing it to a regular white flour, much healthier. And plus there's only 2 ingredients. It's water and flour. That is it, and salt. Those are the only ingredients. Whereas you get into buying a loaf of bread, you've got, yeast and you've got some flavors and colors and just other stuff.
Yeah,
Some preservatives. So yeah, and the kids really seem to like it. Now I went a little crazy last week and I made lots of bread because when I was in the bread making mood, I was like, I'm just gonna do a whole bunch of loaves. So we're still eating that. So we have rye loaf, and then I made a beautiful round sourdough loaf, and then I took one and put it in a loaf pan to make some bread for the kids to have for sandwiches and stuff. It's going a little bit stale now, but the nice thing is that because the flavor is so delicious, the kids are still eating it. So they took sandwiches to school today with so it's just a little.
So, but that's more easily digested, right?
Yes, it is. Yeah, and it's adding some of that good bacteria to their digestive system, which just helps overall with our immune system, helps with our skin, it helps with digestive issues, helps keep that yeast at bay. So yeah, that's what I've been doing quite a bit in the kitchen in this week, and it's been very tasty. So probably Thursday, probably make some more loaves on Thursday. Do 2 loaves and have it for the weekend. And,
sounds good.
yeah, and then that will cut down on our bread cost as well, because we buy organic bread and sometimes it's sprouted and it's expensive. It's like what, $5 or $6 a loaf.
Yeah, it's definitely more, but
so
in the value there's it's worth it.
Absolutely, the value is worth it because we know that we're giving our kids some good
the nutritional
values there. Yeah, but if I can make it myself, and right now I'm in the mood for kneading and doing all that stuff, and it kind of feels it's good. It's very therapeutic. So, not to say I'm an expert at all, just starting out. And there's this whole world of scoring sourdough bread. So you get these beautiful patterns of like flowers and leaves on your bread. So that's what I'm into. I joined a Facebook group, and so the last loaf I did try to do that, but I need a sharper knife just to cut through and make some nice patterns. But my daughter is very artistic, so my hope is with the next 2 loaves that I make that I will get her to probably make a pattern and score it. And who knows? Maybe a sourdough bakery in our future. We'll see.
What else?
I guess that was about it. I mean, in terms of we could talk about fitness for ourselves. I know for myself, since the kids have been back to school, it's been very difficult for me to find a routine to get exercise in regularly. And by the time we've got 2 that are in high school, they're on the bus at 7:30. The next one's not on the bus until 9. So we've got this huge 3-hour morning where you're just getting kids ready for school. So it's hard to get some things in there. I do a meditation every day, which I try to get in. I know you do a meditation every morning as well.
Just to get a meditation in that part done in before we get to see the kids. So go.
Well, for my exercise, I've been trying to just walk every day with the dog, and we have a path that we've made that's about a 10-minute walking distance. So we are 10 minutes out. So I try to hit that like 2 to 3 times a day. So at least I'm getting that fresh air and getting outside. And even on a day like today where it's windy and it's cold and rainy, but still heading out there.
Yeah, you would get that. And then you have to get some of those essentials in, right? You know,
Yes.
getting your movement, which is great for your energy, which is great for your lymph system. You're getting the fresh air, right? Good oxygen, and then you're getting exposed to the sun, even if it's cloudy like this, overcast like this. Just the skin exposure, you still gain that the sinking in, if you want, with your circadian rhythm and all those other rhythms with the sun. So we're at least 2 times a day.
Yeah. We've been doing some yoga. So I've been doing the yoga led by Jeff, and I've been doing my own yoga. And then you've been doing some soccer and ultimate frisbee.
Yeah, we've been heading out with the boys to do soccer, which has been fun until you realize that your eldest can like mag you and make you look bad, and the kids laugh at you, but that's all right. It's still fun to play. And the ultimate frisbee, we just started that up, so we've been out 2 times now to play that, and wow, that's tough. That's a lot of running, and it's great fitness though. Like you think of, and so is soccer in the way, like if you relate that to HIIT, that high intensity interval training, where you got like sprint after the ball, sprint to catch the frisbee, and then you have a bit of recovery time, and then you sprint again, right? Like really good for your immune system, your cardiovascular system, respiratory system, all of those wonderful things. This is a little more natural, right? As what we would normally do in nature. If you were living in nature, you might have to run away from something, or you might have to have the strength to walk or go. But yeah, those things for fitness or activity. And then daily I do I would say probably 13 out of 14 days. Like I usually miss typically 1 every 2 weeks, but I do I don't know if anybody knows who Wim Hof is, but if you're familiar with the Wim Hof method, I do the breathing exercises there I do my morning meditation, but usually later I try to squeeze that in between the kids going early, and then before Foster jumps on the bus later, squeeze that in and do a couple rounds there. But then at the end of that, I always do with breath retention, max push-ups. So I'm doing a whole bunch of push-ups there.
What are you up to?
40.
Holding your breath.
Yeah. Yeah,
Impressive.
40 push-ups on whole breath retention. But you got to look into the technique. You can't just do that and expect that to happen at the beginning. It takes some practice. But anyway, that's what I'm doing. Lots of good breathing. That good belly breathing is the biggest thing. It really oxygenates your brain for good thinking and cognition, and your lungs, and then obviously every other cell. So again, things like immune system, that stuff are fantastic for. But then the movement, right? The push-ups. So lots of good upper body strength. So yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
Maybe not for everybody, but hey, it works for me, so I do it.
No, that's good. Yeah, and that was really quite fun the first night that we played ultimate frisbee, and you and our oldest son Owen, who was 16, were playing on the same side but against each other, and you were saying you were saying, I don't know what's wrong, my timing's off, I just can't catch these frisbees, but it was actually Owen who was out jumping him and catching the frisbees. Anyway,
right?
I know, yeah, but anyway, that was fun. So then Jeff came over to my side and played against me because his odds at
Yeah, I caught the frisbee after that. See, that's game smart.
yeah. Anyway, it was lots of fun. Okay, so let's finish off today with our sleep, because how are you sleeping lately? Well, that's good.
What's that? Like maybe once a month. Maybe around the full moon. Sometimes I might wake up in the night, but I usually get back to sleep well. Or our cats, if we have cats that jump on the bed that are left in the house overnight and they climb on pretty much on your face, that kind of wakes you up. So, but otherwise, yeah, I fall asleep pretty quickly, pretty easily, sleep through, and it's all good for me. Sleep wise, how about you?
I'm finding that I actually need a bit more sleep these days. I find with the daylight being less, my body wants to go to bed earlier, and I definitely want to sleep in later. It's rare that I'm getting up on my own now. I find that the alarm clock is waking me up. So it's hard to make that adjustment to go, still getting 8. I probably get 8.5 hours of sleep. I love my sleep and I get lots of it, but I my body's saying I could probably do 9 right now. But it's hard with those evening routines to bump it up a little bit more. So, go ahead.
Yeah, well, it's just in sync with the season, right?
Yes.
Like,
Mhm.
I would say in the summer when you're like more near the summer solstice, like 6 hours of sleep is no, like I'm fine. Like a 6 hour sleep, I can get up in the morning and be tons of energy and ready to go because there's lots of sunshine throughout the day. Keeps your cortisol levels up with the natural cortisol levels with the sun. But yeah, as we're getting into the winter solstice, of course, it's going to be completely the other way. Your body's designed to want to sleep more because there's more darkness, right? So it's just a normal pattern.
Yeah, last night when we came in from our walk and it was 6:45 and it was getting dark, and usually as a family we watch like one show and then like go to bed, and then last night I was like, okay, let's watch our 20-minute show and then I'm gonna go to bed, and I looked at the clock and it was only 6:45. I was like, better stay up a little bit later than that. But anyway, all right, well, anything else that you want to add for today? No. Okay. Well, that was great. Thanks for joining us on our tea time with Tricia and Jeff. And we'll see you next week.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.